Incidentally, I believe that some states may have had an audio problem at the start of the telecast. We apologise for that. Let's hope things go a little bit better later on the day, because we have Collingwood up against the Brisbane Bears, and of course Collingwood last year having broken that 32-year premiership drought with that magnificent victory in the first week in October at the MCG. Now the visitors' rooms, which over the years have hosted Clive Lloyd, David Gower and other people like that, at the Gabba this afternoon hosting Collingwood, the 1990 premiers. And Kim Sporton takes a look at how the Pies might look in 1991.
They've always been the working class heroes, and for a band of fans old enough to remember, the Pies' determination a few months back to break a 32-year drought revived memories of 61 years ago when their heroes had reigned supreme. It was back in the late 1920s that Collingwood were the undisputed champs, having snared 4 premierships on the trot. They managed back-to-backs in 1935-36. Then it was a long wait between flags. The next 2 came in 1953 and 1958, after which the infamous drought began. But never did it waver the devotion of a legion of fanatical fans.
Because we'd strived for so long for this premiership.
Scream for it.
Oh, it's got to be a public holiday tomorrow, special occasion, 1958 grand final. Look at us all here.
There couldn't be anything better than a public holiday for Collingwood. It's marvellous.
And now, on the threshold of a new season and with the inclusion of yet another club in the AFL competition, the fans are praying that the bubble won't burst. And that's something coach Leigh Matthews prefers not to dwell on.
People, when they ask about what's going to happen, and I say I don't know, and the reason is you're dealing with human beings, they're not robots.
But is he confident the Pies will get back-to-back flags?
No, not at all, because there's so many things to pass. I mean, we're talking about a 6 or 8 month campaign, and there's so many things that can happen for the good and for the bad that it's a long drawn out process. No one knows where they stand and where they're going to be August, September.
Does Collingwood have to improve to win it again?
Oh yes, significantly I would think. I think one of the certainties is that the same 20 players, that exact same 20, will never win the premiership again this year, next year, any other year. I mean, I don't think it's ever happened in the history of football, I wouldn't think.
To that end, Collingwood has named 3 recruits: Troy Lehman of North Adelaide, Paul Williams, North Hobart, and Jason McCartney. And in the first practice match against Geelong last weekend, the team was in good form. Although the Pies were downed by 2 points, they did so with several of their key players absent. Peter Dacos, James Manson and Dennis Banks are being rested, and Mick McGuan is still recovering from a groin injury.
Everything sort of starts again. I mean, that's the system, and it's just understanding that, I think, is the first point to at least producing your best.
Of course, today the Magpies are in full flight again, playing Brisbane in their opening match of the Foster's Cup, with the added pressure now of being the yardstick for the newly expanded AFL comp. And no doubt they'll be hoping history doesn't repeat itself. After their 1958 win, Collingwood lost the first 5 rounds, a possibility Leigh Matthews, understandably, doesn't wish to contemplate.
I was 6 years old, Kim. How old were you?
I wasn't even born.
Well, don't ask me about 1958.
Well, Collingwood might have lost a string of games at the start of 1959 after their last premiership, but it's worth remembering that they lost all their pre-season games last year and still went